Oh yeah, black sun in the hizzle, all for shizzle dizzle. We got an excellent show here today. As y'all see the title, Steve Harvey starts the first Black Civil War. There's a video out where Dr. Umar calls out Steve Harvey and I quote, Mr. Umar says, how much are they paying you? He's talking to Steve Harvey. He's talking to D.L. Hughley. He's talking to Ricky Smiley. Of course, D.L. Hughley and Ricky Smiley don't reply. So, of course, Steve Harvey not only comes out and say, of course, not only does he support Kamala Harris, but he will get Kamala Harris back on his show and throw softball questions and make sure he toss it to Kamala Harris and make sure Kamala Harris gets a slam dunk. And then he proceeded to mention how he himself, Steve Harvey, and Tavis Smiley, and I said Tavis Smiley, Steve Harvey, D.L. Hughley, and Ricky Smiley. I said Tavis Smiley. Ricky Smiley are all part of the Q Dogs and how they control the airwaves of the radio. Okay, so basically, what you're doing here, Steve Harvey, let me talk to you, is that when you declare that you're this black voice, you put yourself as you make a stance when you do that. You make a very bold stance, as bold as a king, as bold as a dictator, as bold as anybody willing to basically say that you stand for a people and that you are willing to go to war with those people. Now, of course, I'm not talking physical war because, of course, they would lose because the people on the streets. Now, let me just say this. I'm not going to even speak on who would win or lose. Let me just say this, because we're not talking about a actual warfare. We're just talking about a stance that you're making, Steve Harvey. And so by you making this stance, you are choosing to ignore the black people out here who are making a stance saying, you know what, we are not down with the Democratic Party. We are not down with Kamala Harris. We are not down with any agenda that you or your masters are proposing as far as running this country. Now, I know you don't know anything about policies. You, Steve Harvey, you, D.L. Hughley, and you, Ricky Smiley, you guys know nothing about policy. So I'm not going to waste my time addressing policies with you because you don't know. In fact, I'm as bold as to say, as a black man in America, I will say that if you are a Democrat supporting anybody in the Democratic Party, you are not standing on any policies because they have said they're not going to make Kamala Harris, when she debates Trump, about policy. They've said this. They've said that they are not going to make this about policy. So that lets you know that a policy is not going to be the issue when hold on. So okay, policy is not going to be the issue. It's going to be anything but policy. Is the issue is going to be anything but policy. I'm gonna just leave it at that because they said it's not going to be about policy. Now, you have black people here, and I wouldn't be so bold to say I represent these black people because y'all know how I am. I tend to curse. I tend to get real ignorant. And there are a lot of black people who are well more spoken than I am. But I will say this, as a black person, I will declare war on you and the likes of you. I will say that because there are black people out here that are concerned about policies, and there's a multitude of policies, but I'm not going to get into the multitude of policies that we are addressing as far as the Trump administration, MAGA. I mean, I can mention some real quick that policies that I'm very fond of. Drill, baby, drill. That would create jobs. No tax on tips, which not only does Trump came up with a great idea, but Kamala thought it was such a great idea, she stole it. So of course, that's a great policy. But again, Kamala Harris said they're not going to deal with policy. And another policy I like that Trump is going to deal with is ending the war in Ukraine between Ukraine and Russia within 24 hours, because he knows Putin and he knows Zelensky, who both Zelensky and Putin respects Trump, who both Zelensky and Putin do not respect Kamala Harris. And so I say that to say this is because of the policies, Mr. Steve Harvey. We're not on your particular train. And I think that because you feel like you're in charge of black people, I guess because you're on the airwaves. Well, welcome to the internet, by the way. Welcome to the internet. But I say this to say this. I say that to say this, Mr. Harvey, is that if you want to make the stance of being the leader of these particular black people, then I would like to challenge you on that. Okay? And I'm not challenging you on policies because you know of any policies. You don't know. You're beneath my level when dealing with policies. You know nothing of policies, So I just challenge your stance on your support for Kamala Harris just because she is black, and I will even concede and let you even have the black card. Okay, so what? And I've said this many times, so what? I'm not going to sit up here and argue whether a person's black or white or Indian, Native American, or Asian. I'm not going to even argue that. In American, you could be who you want to be. I mean, hell, if you got men thinking they can be women and women thinking they can be men, then hell, if you want to be Indian, you can be black, then so be it. Then be black. But that's not a reason to vote for somebody, because as black people, we are not monolithic. We are not all the same. We are different. And in our difference, we celebrate our independence. We are not a hive mind per se. And we are not all agreeing to stay on the Democratic plantation. So you can do what you want to do, Steve Harvey. You and your people who think like you, that's fine. It's when you try to represent us and come after people who look like me who don't agree with you per se. Because you got people like me who know about policies quite well, foreign and domestic. A lot of black people. I mean, I'm not only proud of the people that I've seen, the brothers and sisters. Let me infiltrate into. Let me say not only brothers, but brothers and sisters who are representing, who want to support Trump because of the policies that we envision that will make America great again. Like drill, baby, drill, bringing down the gas prices. A lot of us perceive that, as I quote what Reagan say, things were better 4 years ago as to they are as of right now. And because things we feel were better under this man right here, Donald Trump, and we understand the policies that he is presenting to the American public now, we want to get back to that. So, Mr. Steve Harvey, of course, you don't represent us because you said, "Oh, $10,000 ain't nothing to me." You told Dr. Umar that. How dare you? You just boasted up. How dare you? I'm Steve Harvey, and then I'm just quoting. I mean, the gist of what you were saying is like you wouldn't do anything for $10,000. You missed the whole point of what Mr. Dr. Umar was saying. Dr. Umar was saying is that you're selling us out, whether it's $10,000 or whatever the amount is, or you said you'd do it for free, but you don't even know what the hell you're doing for free. You just been told. I'm sure you've been paid, but hey, you say you weren't. Okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. The point is that we are not doing it for free. We are not being paid for it, and we have a goal and agenda for the house that we live in, the house being the United States of America. And being that this is the United States of America, a lot of us have lineage here that fought in many wars: Revolutionary, Civil War, the Spanish American War. I can go on, the Vietnam War, Gulf War. There are many wars that have been fought that many of our lineage have bled and died for. And what I'm saying is that there can be no black leaders to speak for no black individual. The last time we've had that was Malcolm X, and he was assassinated. Martin Luther King, he was assassinated. Huey P. Newton. I can go down the list of people during the Black Power era and the Civil Rights era who were assassinated claiming to be these black leaders. And what I'm saying is that you, sir, are in no position to claim that leader of black people, to be the spokesman of black people. You, sir, might want to settle down on that and calm yourself down because you are in no position to do that. Now, I hope that you, sir, will only represent you and maybe your little band of Q dogs. Now, if you want to represent you and your Q dogs in the Divine Nine, then that's fine. Because the Q dogs and Divine Nine don't represent black people as a whole. They just represent a segment of a percentage of people who go to college, who join the fraternal Greek fraternities or whatever, the black sorors or whatever you want to call them, sorors, sorority sisters and Greek alpha brothers and all that, whatever you want to call it. What I'm saying is that they don't represent black people as a whole. Okay. And because you don't represent black people as a whole, that is a no to try to tell black people what and what not to do. Now, I will say this. If you're a black person and if you're listening to these so-called black shows on the airwaves that they control, then hey, I hope that you have sense enough to be grown and still have your own mind at the end of the day, do your own research and not be led by this Pied Piper by the name of Steve Harvey. The last time we had a Pied Piper was a Pied Piper by the name of R. Kelly, and you know how that worked out. Okay. We had another Pied Piper by the name of Dr. Malachi York. You know how that ended up. I can go down the list of these so-called Pied Pipers for the black community. And what I'm saying is that you, sir, don't want to start a civil war amongst black people. Oh, wait, too late. You already have, because you made the bold statement that you did. So but can I really get mad at you because you specifically called out your group? But you said Black Airwaves, but you said, you said your Q brothers, your Q dog, Q dog brothers. So I'm assuming that you're just representing them. Your Q dog brother being you yourself, Mr. Harvey, that being D.L. Hughley and also Ricky Smiley. I'm assuming that you're just representing that particular group of people because it is very dangerous to represent a whole group of black people and you don't put in the work or put in the effort to become that black leader. So I say that to say this, I hope that the people who do listen to these so-called airwaves, like I said, the airwaves, if that's what your power lies in the TV, then it pretty much is uh, fading away to the internet. The internet is becoming the great equalizer. And when you talk about independent voices here on the internet, whether it be YouTube or whatever social media platform, people, we can, I mean, a lot of us in these, on the World Wide Web here, www World Wide Web here, a lot of us do our own researches and a lot of us become our own voices. Okay. We become our own entities and we become uh, our own masters, per se. It is what it is. So I'm gonna end this off by saying this. I hope this is the last that I hear of Steve Harvey. This is the last I hope I hear of Ricky Smiley, and I hope this is the last. Now, D.L. Hughley, even though he's a part of that, I haven't heard him say anything. So I'm gonna leave him out for now. So D.L. Hughley, I'm not, this is not to you because you haven't said anything, but this is to you, Steve Harvey, and especially you, um, Ricky Smiley. Ricky Smiley, you just the you this mainly is for you. Now, Steve Harvey said his point where he made his stands, but you, Mr. Smiley, yeah, I would love to debate you, man, but you wouldn't debate nobody like me because you would have a lot to lose in that debate. Because again, I'm gonna go on record and say this, and I wish, I would pray that you damn hear this message, Mister Smiley. You don't know of any policies. Neither do you, Steve Harvey. And again, the administration has already said it that they're not going to run Kamala based on policies. I don't know how she's going to debate Trump. No, no, I lied. I know how they're going to debate Trump. They're going to bring up race. They're going to bring up people's emotions during debate, like they did when Trump went to the black journalist thing. They were asking irrelevant questions that black people do not care about. I mean, of all things, they asked Trump about J6. Black people don't care about no J6. That is not even in our top 10 concerns. I guarantee that. Times are too hard to be concerned about some J6. Where, I'm not going to get into the J6, but let me just say a lot of us come from neighborhoods where we've seen far more worse, far worse than J6. So don't insult our intelligence. And so I say this again, these news medias, the first debate that Trump's going to have, they're not going to deal with policy. I already know it. And they're going to piss people off and dig themselves further in a hole. And, uh, right now, I think the talk is about the percentage of black people that have moved to Trump. Trump is at roughly at 26. They've siphoned 26% of black voters away from the Democratic Party. When I say the Democratic Party, I'm saying Harris, Obama, Biden, whoever. I don't give a Clinton, it doesn't matter. 26% was siphoned away from the Democratic Party. Trump took away 26%. It is what it is. The Democrats need what, 80%? They need far more than that to take the election. So you can't win without that 26% that Trump got. So looks like we'll be inaugurating Trump in November. But I'm glad that you, Steve Harvey, and your people of the likes of you, Steve Harvey and Mr. Smiley, Ricky Smiley. I'm glad that you guys are exposing yourselves finally, because I've never liked none of y'all. I always thought that comedians are like the lowest forms of life forms of human beings. On this, I've always felt that way, and so I've never laughed at none of these guys' so-called jokes. But I'm not going to get into what I like and dislike. I'm just saying that I know at the end of the day, because it's not about me liking or disliking who you guys are. I know that you guys don't know any policy because Kamala Harris said we're not going to run on policy. There. So there's really no debate because Kamala Harris has already said they're not going to run on policy. It's kind of strange. I never heard of a person running for office and not having any policies. And then on top of that, the only policy, their first policy, is the one she stole from Trump. No tax on tips. Amazing. Amazing. Like, black people don't be on the internet and don't know this, that Trump created the no tax on tips. That's Trump all day. So Democrats, continue to dig yourselves in a hole. Steve Harvey, keep exposing who you are. Ricky Smiley, yeah, keep exposing who you are. Like I said, I can't really talk about D.L. Hughley. He hadn't said anything, so I'm not gonna call D.L. Hughley out. Now, D.L. Hughley, with all due respect, if you want some of the smoke, you can get some of the smoke. But guess what? You'll crack jokes just like your brothers. Now I'm getting on Mr. Hughley, even though he didn't say nothing. So I will, you know what? I won't talk about Hughley, but I will talk about Steve Harvey, and I will talk about Tavis Smiley, because his stupid ass challenge black people, and you really challenge the black people with that nonsense about, oh, Kamala Harris is from the AKAs, and what if she, nigga, you sound goddamn stupid. But again, let's keep it down to just policy. But again, there's no fight on your side because, again, Kamala Harris has said they're not going to run on policy. So it's pointless at this point to even not only talk to you clowns about policy, but any Democrat, black or white, about policy, because Kamala Harris is not going to run on policy. And whatever economic plan she has proposed, when she talks about equity, she's talking about socialism. And we know socialism leads to communism, communism leads to Marxism. It's all no good. It is a country killer. It is a country buster, just like inflation. So I'm going to end the show, man. Thank you for the like, man. Yeah, I'm gonna close it out. What I am going to do is I'm going to watch Barry Cunningham. Y'all go support that brother. He's on right now. I just wanted to come on and just speak on the Steve Harvey situation. Like, you really don't want to do that. You're really not prepared to even cause a civil war like that. And I mean, just like I said, even on an intellectual level, you're not in no position to do that, Steve Harvey. I don't care how much money you make, how much money you think you make. You do not possess the type of power. You, first of all, the one you defending, Kamala Harris, don't even have a policy. So you stand on absolutely nothing. If you're standing on race, then that's kind of pointless, being that you have all these intelligent black people standing with intelligence when it comes to policies. We're voting our interests. And that is the highest form of intelligence you can reach, when you vote your interests. And like I said, I can go down the list of Trump policies and how they would benefit me and how, but again, voting is left up to the individual. And I always say that. So I don't expect a group think. I mean, if you feel like, I always say, and I've always said this, if you feel like Biden was better or Trump was better, then vote accordingly. Y'all know where I stand. But vote according to your interests. It's just that simple. I don't know what your life experiences is. We all have different, like, just like I said, Black people are not monolithic, so we don't all have the same life experiences. We can even grow up in the same hood, and we still don't have the same life experiences. So I say that to say this. I hope I don't have to speak on this anymore after this point. I hope I don't, but I don't mind taking the challenge. I don't mind taking the fight. I don't mind fighting the fight. I hope there could be a understanding where people should be allowed to just vote who they want to vote for, believe how they want to believe, and walk the path that they want to walk, regardless of what color you are, whether you're Black, white, man or woman. It doesn't matter. If you are grown, you should be able to make life choices that is best suitable and comfortable for you. There should be no shaming. There should be no now, I personally think it's ridiculous to vote based on race, but if that's what you want to do, then you're entitled to do that. People have fought, bled, and died for your right, even if I feel it's stupid, just like you feel it's stupid not to vote for her because she's voting for her because she's Black is just the most ridiculous idea. But again, you're entitled to that. I don't know I don't even know if you got a slice of it. You said that 10,000 was insulting. I don't know how much higher. Obviously, you were insinuating to Dr. Umar, it must have been much more money, but you said, oh, I'll do it for free. Whatever, dude. Whatever you're entitled to that. Maybe you're living good under the Biden administration. I'm not. And there's a lot of Black people who are not, or there's Black people who have lived better under Trump. And we simply want those Trump gas prices back. We want Trump drill baby drill. We want food prices to be back down. I don't eat bacon, but the bacon prices should go back down. So again, it's all about the individual choice. So I hope as grown men, I don't have to get on here and do a live anymore and have any more discussions on it. Steve Harvey, you are a grown man. You're an old man, but you're a grown man. Ricky Smiley, you're a grown ass man too. Now I understand you, Ricky Smiley, you were going in. Apparently you got paid to go in like that. But what I'm saying is that you really don't want that smoke. I know they paid you, but man, the way you goddamn selling them wolf tickets, you really don't want that smoke, because somebody like me will come. I'll come at you. They just leave it at that. I'll come at you. And I'm not speaking physical violence. I will just embarrass you because, again, the one you hoop and hollering for has no policies. That's it. So what are you fighting for? Well, because she's Black. Okay, we're all Black. So what? Who cares? How does being Black benefit anybody? Because Black people are just like white people, just like they look out for their family and their best interests and will make the decision based on what makes their life better, not based on what make anybody else. Let's stop thinking in this hive mind and this group think, because it does not work at the end of the day. It doesn't work for white people, Black people. It works for no one. At the end of the day, we are born alone, and at the end of the day, we die alone. Okay? It's just a reality. I know that sounds grim. I know that sounds like a black pill moment, but it is what it is. And at the end of the day, we do the best for our families. We do the best out of our experience, and the experiences that I had an experience like a lot of you have. I lived, I can say in this civil war, I've had 4 years under Biden and 4 years under Trump. It's not a hard decision. Not for me at all. You know. And the only person who could decide if that's a stupid, smart, or dumb decision is me at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, it's how did Biden's economy affect my pocket and how did Trump's economy affect my pocket? And me as a man, I have to tally up my bills at the end of the day. Just like the next black person, the next black man, the next black woman, the next white man, the next white woman. The American has to make the decision what best suits them, because at the end of the day, we live in a competitive society. And this election is competitive because it comes down to where we're going to do with the resources. Are we going to send more money to Ukraine? Are we going to allow more migrants in? And I'm not going to even get biblical on y'all like I did earlier, because I did get biblical. I got very biblical earlier because it didn't make sense how Kamala Harris is encouraging not only black men and women, but white men and white women, those who want to fall for the silly shit, to get vasectomies and abortions, but encourage the migrants to have kids and pop out babies and give them a $35,000 initiative for each child. Can somebody explain how that worked? You're for abortion for the Americans and vasectomies. You got a bus that does the abortions and vasectomies, but you're encouraging the migrants to pop out babies. How does that work, y'all? How does that work? Can somebody please explain that to me? How does that work? Because we're definitely not talking about this myth about population control, because you're giving incentives to the migrants to pop out babies. So how does that add up? But you know, Kamala Harris is flip-floppy, right? One minute she's for fracking, then a minute she's not for fracking. One minute she's for taxing people, then she's not for taxing people. One minute she's Indian, and then she's black. So it sounds like she just want to cater to what you guys want to hear. But when it comes to the action, it look like Trump. He talks the talk and he walks the walk. So with that being said, Trump 2024. Y'all hit the like. Y'all hit the like. Hit the like. Hit the like. Hit the like. Hit the like button, please. Hit the like button, please. It's free, y'all. The hit the like button is free. Can y'all hit like and share, please? Oh, okay. All right, y'all. Kelly Ray, let me know when your meeting is over. Okay, 10-4, 10-4. All right, y'all. Let me get going. I will see y'all later. With that being said, man, we out, y'all. Peace. In stream.